All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got PackReacts once again here, ladies and gentlemen. But we got special guests here. But before we get to the special guests here, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our quick intro, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, everybody. Welcome to PackReacts. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Hadler, along with our other co-host, Mike Arvonio. And tonight we have special guests on here. We got from the Twitter and Instagram side for Packer fans, folks. We got Lambeau Post, and we got Packers Digital here, folks.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Ready to talk some Packers and let's get right into it.
Go. Yeah, right. Thanks for the invite.
No problem.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us.
So what we usually like to do before we get into the topics, we like to ask our guests right off the bat a couple questions, and then we get into the topic. So my first question for you guys, and whoever wants to go first, is what made you become a Packers fan, and why did you want to become that? Why were the Packers the team you want to be a fan of in football?
Mine's a long story, so Jonah can go. I mean, mine's long, so.
Well, all right, I can go first then. So, cold 2013 night. Packers are playing the Bears, battling for a playoff spot. Aaron Rodgers is back from a collarbone injury that he suffered earlier in the season. As a young football fan, you know, my parents put Patriot stuff on me growing up as a New England kid, but never really understood it then. But as I started, you know, growing up, watching football more, I just loved Aaron Rodgers, loved watching the Green Bay Packers, loved that offensive line. So 2013, I'd say that game was really the Bears-Packers game, the one where Randall Cobb scored that game-winning touchdown inside a minute. That, I'd say, was the game where I became a diehard Green Bay Packers fan.
Nice.
It's a good pick.
Nice. Lambeau Post, you can go.
All right. Mine's kind of long. So my mom, she was a Cowboy fan when I was growing up, and I remember I just started deciding I wanted to watch football. This is, I think, right around 2011, right after we won the Super Bowl. And I didn't really want to just pick the Cowboys because it was my mom's team. But anyways, it was Detroit Lions versus the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are getting their ass kicked. My mom's like, fuck the Cowboys. I'm not watching this shitty fucking team anymore, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick whatever team beats the Lions next is going to be my team. So the next week or so, I think it might have been 2 weeks, I went to California, I went to my grandma's, and it's Packers-Lions Thanksgiving game. So we all know how that went.
Was this 2013?
Nah, this was 2011.
Okay. So both of you missed the Super Bowl then?
Unfortunately, just missed the Super Bowl.
Unfortunately, just missed it.
Nice.
And it's been nothing but pain since.
Yep, it's been a good time.
Yeah, so the Packers' dominance to the Lions historically was why you're a Packers fan, but not as of late. As of late, we've been dominated the other way.
Yeah, so they've had our number.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yep. My next question for you guys is, what's your favorite memory of watching the Packers? I mean, you already mentioned about the Bears game. Do you have do you guys have like one particular moment? I mean, it could be the Bears one again, of where you watch the Packers like, wow, that's the team I want to root for. That's my favorite moment of just watching and being a proud fan of them.
So I can go first again. I think recent memory, 2021 Packers-Cardinals. I don't think any Packers fan going into that game with Adams out and all the injury issues we had going on, I don't think anyone expected us to beat the 7-0 full-strength Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Rasul Douglas, fresh signing. That game, that moment, overall, I was proud to be a Packers fan.
Nice.
That was a pretty legendary game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know if I could pick a game. I'd probably just say that entire 2014 season, watching Aaron Rodgers
goodness.
with that year he had. It's the entire season. I remember Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy went off that year. You have the GOAT, Jordy Nelson playing for us. Cobb was still good. We had a decent defense. Wasn't the best. Was decent at the time. Clay
that
Matthews
offensive
still.
line was crazy too.
Oh yeah, that line was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know what happened at the end of that year.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely did. What made you guys want to have your own page on Insta, create your own account? You two are together now, I saw. So what made you guys want to run it together and have a kind of a brand or kind of make content as Packer fans?
So
sorry, I'll let him go.
The partnership, I think it came with both of us. We've been friends outside of the fan page community. We've gotten closer as friends. And I think just similar ideas, similar what's the word I'm looking for?
Mindset.
Or preferences as a fan, I guess. See the same thing, the issues, what's going right, what's going wrong. So I think both of us collabing together was a good move for both of our page, engagement wise, etc.
Yeah, it's definitely been working so far. So
yeah, for sure.
Nice. Mike, do you have any questions?
You kind of led it to mine. So one of the big things we do here is we try to get Packers Twitter, Packers Reddit, kind of people that are part of the online community for the Packers, kind of get their experience. So I guess what's your guys' involvement? I know obviously you have your pages. It's an Instagram page, I assume?
Yeah,
it is.
So do you guys take part of any other social media things? Maybe give us a little bit of background exactly what is on the page, kind of what you try to do, and how you've interacted with others online about the Packers.
Dylan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I started my page back in 2017. This was back when people were just doing edits all the time. Nobody was really posting, injury update, any of that stuff like that. It was just edits pretty much at the time. And me it was 2017, so I was freshman year. I just decided to start trying it. I was really into the Packers, and once you do edits, it gets kind of addicting.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the way that just fan pages, they change. I don't know. I feel like I adapted and I enjoyed just making graphics in general. That's pretty much the biggest thing for me is just I enjoy it. So
you like the graphic design aspect of it?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Kind of what Dylan was saying. I think the graphic design aspect of it is really fun. Just, growing up in Vermont, not a lot of Packers fans around me. So I think part of getting my page up was interacting with other Packers fans, seeing the perspective of what they're thinking. I think getting into social media, involving with the Packers was a good move to connect with other Packers fans. So that was a big part of it too. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that is hit on a lot of people that kind of joined the show because Jeremy's from Pennsylvania. I'm from New York. It sounds like Digital, you're from Vermont, you said, right?
Yeah, Vermont. Yeah.
Lambeau, where are you from?
I've lived a lot of places, but I'm in California right now.
California, right? So, it's one of those things where the Packers are international team, right? And a lot of people have a strong desire and love for the team, but don't necessarily have the people around them that have the same love and desire. So. The internet and Packers Twitter and this community has been really great for these people. So, this is just great examples of people that kind of went the extra mile. But some people just kind of, pay attention and lurk in the background. But you guys, have a page and bringing people together. So that's really great. So definitely keep up the great work. I just went on your pages and it's something different. Like Jeremy and I have kind of taken the podcast route, talking online, this takes a lot of work. And like you said, graphic design, it sounds like, are you guys both in college now or high school?
I graduated from college.
Graduated
about
from
going
college?
back.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently.
is graphic design something that you guys are interested in for like your career, or is it
I wouldn't
just
say
a hobby
career,
on
but
the
I did
side?
in high school.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, same. Like it's more of like a hobby sort of thing for me.
Yeah.
It's not on my major or anything, but like, yeah,
It's kind of
like
hard
a
to make
fun
money in it in
side
the first
hobby for
place.
me.
Right. No, I totally agree. Yeah. I think there's another guy, Titletown. I forget his name.
Titletown. Oh, Titletown
Titletown Post
Edits?
or something. Yeah,
So
maybe
edits?
edits. Yeah, he does graphic design. I have to pull his name up. I haven't actually seen him in a while.
It's a pretty big page, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I
did a
think it's
lot of that.
edits.
He
I
did
don't
like
know
the
if you guys
jersey
are
swaps.
familiar with Packers Ice either. Packers Ice makes some
Yep.
really nice Packers graphics.
I'm familiar with
Wow.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Just as fucking fast.
It's Titletown Rain. That one.
Titletown, right? And I gotta look that up.
Yeah, he's a graphic designer, and I think I followed him a while back, and he does some good edits. I think he was doing jersey swaps. We were like bringing people in for maybe a trade deadline acquisition, and he had some good stuff up. But I think he was actually trying to do that for his career. When like you said, it's a tough career. So I'm not sure where he's at today, but definitely an interesting thing, and it's something that like Packers Twitter really gives you a great kind of avenue into graphic design, because like you said, you guys have Instagram posts. Like there's a lot of ways to create memes and stuff that graphic design comes in handy. So what advice would you give to somebody who's starting new, like software you use, things that you found helpful in your kind of journey?
It's just about the apps and learning them.
Right.
And now it's so easy, if you want to go ahead and do edits, you don't have to do the old, where you had to use a marker to skin your player or whatever. Now you can just hold it on that menu. Yeah, it's way easier now. So.
Right. Yeah. Like I've gotten into a little bit. I have a page called Titletown Memes. I don't do it too much, but I've created a few. But there's like an app called Bazart that I use to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of Bazar.
Bazart's a good one.
Fonto's another one.
Yeah, I use Fonto.
Dylan Lambeau post was showing me Leonardo. Is that what it was
Yeah,
called?
it's Leonardo. It costs $5, but it's totally worth it. I think it's the best one to use.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of like apps these days that are really helpful to give you a quick a head start on graphic design and stuff like that. Free to use too, which is nice.
Right.
So yeah.
Right, agree. And this is a great thing for any viewer who wants to get involved with Packers. Get involved with some of this stuff. Like it's fun.
For sure.
You meet a lot of people. Like you guys, it sounds like met over stuff like this, and it's a great thing to do. So I'm glad that you guys took that leap and figured that out, because it's definitely a rewarding kind of hobby. Yeah,
for sure. And going along with what you were saying, any advice I think I can give to like a new or like a rookie in fan page or graphic design is just try to get the best quality possible on your stuff, and like make sure you watermark it, stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. You definitely don't want to have anyone steal your work. That's a tough thing. You have any experience in there? Sounds like you have some experience.
Oh yeah. Videos I used to make back in the day. Had some issues with people reposting them. I didn't watermark them, so
right.
That's why
they kind of were free.
Exactly. See, you live and you learn sometimes some of that stuff. So
yeah.
Luckily, no one wants to steal our podcast. So we haven't had that issue yet. But sometimes. Sometimes when you put out good quality content out there, somebody wants to take it and call it theirs. So yeah, watermark is definitely a helpful thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the last question I had was, I guess, so since you guys are not, don't live in Green Bay, don't live in Wisconsin, have you been to Lambeau? Kind of, what's your experience in person with the team? Have you gone to away games? You've gone to Lambeau, met other fans nearby, or is it just mainly online for you guys?
So unfortunately, I have never been to a Packers game. But on the good news is I am going to the Packers Giants game at MetLife December 11th. I think it's Monday Night Football. So looking forward to that. My first NFL game period. So I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna get my cheese head on. I'm gonna rep my Packers. I'm looking forward to it. Counting down the days.
Nice. He's staying in New York. I might go to that game too because I'm from New York.
Oh, no
so.
kidding. No kidding.
Haven't got the tickets yet. The Giants are so bad. I'm assuming each week
awful.
We better win that.
I think they'll have to pay me to go out there at this point. I think we lost our Lambeau post, but I think they have to pay us to go out there at this point. So there's no rush to buy the tickets.
Seriously.
But I do plan on going. So we actually have another friend, John, who I met at the Tom Grassi meetup where you saw.
Yeah, Tom Grassi lives in New York, so I've been thinking maybe Tom Grassi will be there too. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for any like big Packer faces at the game for sure.
It's probably unlikely though because he does the live stream.
Oh yeah, he does the play-by-play.
Yeah,
he does the live play-by-play. That's right.
That,
yeah. I saw him. So I went to the
big money maker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went to the New England preseason game, and I went for training camp and all that.
Oh yeah,
no, in Lambeau this year.
Oh, it was at Lambeau.
Yeah, the one that got ended early because of the injury to the Patriots player. Yeah. So Grassi actually did a meetup there. He was there for joint practices in the game, so I went to that one as well. So I've kind of met him twice.
Sweet.
But yeah,
that's sick.
He actually lives like not too far away from me, like 20-30 minutes north. But
no kidding. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, and he actually one thing I learned at the meetup was he was a teacher, before he went full-time YouTube, and he was a substitute teacher in the high school that I went to for a year during COVID. I didn't even know that. He actually told me.
That's really cool.
So. Funny stuff, but no.
At
Tom's
the meetup,
great.
Is that where you got the video where Tom got the PackReacts? That's it.
Yeah. So
nice.
No, Tom's a great guy. So
for sure,
definitely. Well,
what about you, Lamb? I don't think we heard from Lambeau. Has he gone to Green Bay? Have you gone to a Packers game?
I saw the Packers come to Seattle twice.
Okay.
All right.
The 2018 game, right?
Yeah, it was 2018.
That was a heartbreaker.
And, what was the other one? I think it was like 20. I think it was the week 1 of 2014.
If I'm not remembering correctly, I think Robert Tonyan had his first touchdown.
He had his first touchdown in 2018
game, wide open.
Seeing that in live person was so different.
From Rodgers. That was a bomb.
Yeah.
His passes look so unrealistic too. Just seeing it live for the first time, like it doesn't even seem real. Just seeing how he can throw that ball.
Yeah, definitely great to see that. Before we move on to our next topic on the recapping the Packers-Steelers game, I'd like to mention that today that Brian Bulaga officially signed his one-day contract with the Green Bay Packers, officially retiring with the Green Bay Packers. I'd like to give a quick round of applause for him. Amazing man.
Well deserved. And I have a quick video to play of tribute for him. 1 second. Here we go.
Brian Bulaga, Iowa. 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 Brian Bulaga, Iowa.
So, Iowa is what he's known for, ladies and gentlemen.
Iowa.
You better say that in his Hall of Fame induction, Packers Hall of Fame induction.
Seriously.
Thank you for the what do you call it? The recognition here. It's Brian Bulaga, Iowa. Yep, that's his name now.
Exactly. Just amazing. He deserves it, especially being part of the Packers in that 2010 that's whole stretch there. He was part of one of the best offensive lines, especially that 2014 one of the best I ever saw.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching. Have you guys seen that video, the Sunday Night Football introductions of the Saints?
Yes.
Just seeing that offensive line. TJ Lang, Brian Bulaga, Corey Linsley, David Bakhtiari, Josh Sitton, just ridiculous, dude. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Now we had a really great run of offensive line for a long time, and it's something new in Green Bay not to.
Now it's Helton Jenkins our best guy.
Yep.
Although it was nice this past Sunday seeing Zach Tom he held his own against Watt for sure.
Oh yeah, he did good.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
He surprised me.
Zach Tom is a solid piece. He's a solid piece, but we need something around him.
Future.
Yeah.
Definitely is. All right. Well, since we're getting to Zach Tom, we'll move on to the Packers game, which the Packers lost 23-19 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Heartbreaker a little bit. Not too surprised of us losing to them, but just a bit of annoyance for the refs. So the refs were a bit of annoyance of like, especially on the forward pass. That was one that really stuck out to
That was a
me.
game changer.
That one I did not agree with the call.
That was bullshit.
Yeah. I just don't understand it when you can clearly see he's throwing behind and they rule forward. I just don't see what they're looking at.
Yeah, like going to the replay booth, I don't understand how you missed that. And I don't appreciate on the broadcast either Jane Steratore defending the call. I do not appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how that was a forward pass.
I think he was just defending the call because, you know, he's a former referee and he doesn't want to make them look as dumb as they look there.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where it
Probably.
stands, right? It's not confirmed. It stands. They probably know that was a bad call. They don't want to too close to make a change from the review. But it was definitely not a good call. I mean, that was definitely a backwards pass. But
For sure.
Yeah, the refs have shown time and time again, if it's not complete and obvious, where it's clear cut, they're not going to overturn it. So I could see it, but yeah, it was a bad call.
No, definitely. What did you guys think of Jordan Love's performance?
He played great that game.
Yeah, what Lambeau Post said, I think Love looked really good. We saw some more flashes of the deep ball. Jaden Reed had one. Romeo Dobbs, that nice corner touchdown. Dontavian Wicks had a nice game. Still missing that deep ball to Watson. Still missing that connection. But I think as the weeks go on, we'll see. We're gonna see it get better here.
No, definitely.
Yeah. On my part, I mean, obviously, it was one of Love's better games, but 208 yards, 19 of 34. I don't know. It's he's still got a lot of growth ahead of him. There was some really nice dimes, like that pass to Romeo in the corner. I would say that was a beautiful pass. Dontavian had a nice day, like you said, but I don't know what's going on with Christian Watson. He dropped a pass that should have been a first down.
Yep.
He just hasn't gotten that connection with Love, and that's been a big loss for us. So, he's still a difference maker on the field, bringing the defensive backs with him with the speed, but he's not had any fantasy performance whatsoever. I have him on my team, and he's killing me. So
I benched him in mine.
I know, he's
brutal.
But I don't know. It was definitely a better performance on the offense's part, but not enough. Not enough.
Does Watson even have 10 catches on the year?
I'd
be interested to see that. I think he's still in single digits for catches, and
he has 14 catches on the year.
He is over 10. Okay.
Yeah, 14 catches. A little bit. Just a little bit.
All right. Yeah, we hopefully he can get some more targets and he can start catching them more. He's really talented. He's got all that height, all that athleticism. To see it go to waste it's been rough.
Yeah, definitely. Now some Packer fans question now, would you have traded Christian Watson for Jonathan Taylor now of that?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't personally, but again, now a bunch of Packer fans saying that, I'm because the run game hasn't worked and Watson hasn't shown what we've seen out of Watson from last year.
No, this is not a long-term problem. Don't worry. Watson's going to bounce back.
Yeah,
I think it's more of an offensive problem than a
Watson
Watson
problem.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the coaching is what's really annoyed me because you still hold the Joe Barry for this long. How he's not fired. The Bills fired their offensive coordinator Monday nights. You look at the offensive play calling. You don't make the switch here and there. Offensive coordinator Adam Stenovich, he's not doing much. I really haven't seen what is going on with the coaching here. And Rich Bisaccia, one of the best special team coaches he's supposed to be. They have not looked good on special teams.
What has the special teams done since his hiring? Yeah.
It's just been terrible. It's
at this kick returns last year, I guess.
Yeah. the kick returns, but still.
I think that was just more Keyshawn Nixon being him.
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely think so.
That
We're still waiting for a Nixon touchdown.
That blocked extra point was a killer for us this week. I mean, if we get that extra point, right, that last drive is a field goal going to overtime.
Yep.
Because without the extra point, you had to go for the end zone. Exactly. And Love threw a nice floater to there to get picked off. Then you see, it was funny how like the defense they played, the Steelers played. They had all their defensive backs right on the goal line. They had no concern of the Packers really whatsoever. I mean, I guess it probably makes sense, right? Because they can't go over the middle. They had no time left, so you have to go to the end zone. Makes sense, but too little, too late. That's another example this year of too little, too late. The Packers just have not played a complete game, trying to squeeze one in there, and it's just not enough. So I don't know.
Coming up short.
I don't know, Jeremy, but like you said about Stenovich, Joe Barry, these are all personnel issues, right? And I think it all comes down to one guy, Matt LaFleur, at the end of the day, not doing a great job with hiring.
Yep.
The people we have in the coaching positions, it's becoming a problem. And I don't know. I like Matt LaFleur, but every day that goes by, every game that we see that just the bad hiring that we have here, I don't know how it's not an indictment on LaFleur. And what do you guys think? What's your opinion on Matt?
I agree with what you're saying. Well said. Matt LaFleur has. Do him and Joe Barry have like history of any sort?
He does. Yeah, they work together. And
they're friends. Yeah,
and the Rams.
Like from the hot day of the hiring to now, no excitement in the Packers fan base with that, and it showed. He was the defensive coordinator for that 07, 0-16 Lions team. So there's the history with that. This coaching staff really no playoff experience overall, other than those 2 years where we came up short, obviously. But yeah, I think we need a fresh, clean house. Young coaching staff, the guys that want to surround Love with playmakers, and not just build in the draft. And I think the Packers need to start getting more aggressive in these trade deadlines, off seasons,
Hopefully we get Keenan.
And I understand Green Bay is not like the biggest free agency destination, but
Yeah, definitely. Lambeau, your thoughts?
Oh, sorry. Was that me?
Yeah.
You just want to know what you thought about that.
I agree. I agree with what you guys were saying, and I like LaFleur, but I feel like after every single game, after every week, every single interview, these press conference boxes that he's in, it's making it harder to like him each week.
What you're saying, I do like LaFleur, but just like the lack of accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys noticed that too, right? Hasn't there been like a huge difference in how he runs his press conferences? Like it almost becomes like
more aggressive.
He's really defensive.
Yeah. He seems like he's almost like been found out a little bit, and he kind of knows he's been found out, and he's getting like aggressive about it. Instead of just being honest, like I always thought he was like a straight shooter, but maybe that's because they were having success. He could have fun with it because there's really nothing bad to say. But how did his back's against the wall? He's kind of like fighting back in a bad way, where like it's making him look like he doesn't have control over the team.
Yeah. Definitely not getting the fan base on his side. That's for sure.
He's got the locker room.
That's losing the locker room as well.
Yeah,
I think he might be losing. Forget about the locker room. He might be losing the fan base. Like he's showing kind of his cards to everybody else.
The way he just talked about, how Packer fans have been critiquing the defense. How he was talking about the 3-4, the nickel defense.
That video we posted earlier this week. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And he said that people being found out by saying that they don't know what they're talking about. But clearly something's not working, right? So, like, I don't think anyone's getting found out. I think maybe it's you getting
found out. And that's part of the lack of
what did he say? He said people are exposing themselves by critiquing the defense.
Right.
Like,
I think we're exposing ourselves with how bad this defense is playing. So, I mean, how much rushing yards are we going to allow each game?
Right.
The only person that I think is being exposed is Matt LaFleur after the years of success with Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. I mean, LaFleur came in a situation where Rodgers is not going to not succeed, right? Like Rodgers, he's the quarterback of this team.
Pissed off Rodgers, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. And I think LaFleur was exactly what Rodgers needs. Somebody that he could kind of get along with well and kind of like work together, bounce ideas off of him. This was always going to be a big test about Matt LaFleur without Aaron Rodgers. Kind of, can he hold this on his own? Right, exactly. But build a team. You know, like people going to be looking at him. Okay, Matt, like we're young. We're, just out of college. We don't know how to be in the NFL. You're our leader. Lead us to the promised land. And right now, he's like, doesn't seem like he's up for the occasion. He's pushing back against the media. He's pushing back against, coming out of halftime in a few of these games, they have like those press time. You could see that he's all pissed. Like he's pissed or he's like sad or like, I don't know. He's just like flustered. Like this is your team, Matt. You have the power. Everyone, you have the respect. You have the power. There's nothing holding you back. Are you going to take it or not? Like right now I'm seeing no. I'm seeing that he can't handle it. But maybe it's just me. But it seems like you guys are on a similar page.
Well, so. I'm on that same page.
Right. And I'm not a LaFleur hater. At all, like Jeremy, we've never historically hated on LaFleur on this show.
No, I wanna like him so bad. Like I think he says some really good things, but
I agree. I want to like him a lot. I want him to be the coach. None of me wants to get him out of there from a personal bias standpoint. It's just what I'm seeing, what I'm kind of seeing of the situation. Not only is the team doing bad, but LaFleur is kind of like unraveling in front of our eyes. And maybe that's the issue that we're seeing. Bad hiring, bad decision-making over and over again because maybe he's just not that guy. It takes a very specific person to be a coach. And do you guys watch Rodgers on Pat McAfee? By any chance?
Oh, yeah.
So, Rodgers has admitted to himself, I'm not going to be a coach ever. And the reason why is being a coach is not just being really good at football, understanding the game. It's actually, you have to be really understand everything, but then also take a step back and be able to lead guys. And you're not the one on the field, right? You have to teach people. You have to instill motivation in them and desire to want to go out and fight for each other and fight for the team and fight for the city. It's a completely different thing than being a quarterback. If quarterback, you're really good. I don't need to wait for my other quarterback to get better because I'm doing it myself. There's no patience there, right? As a coach, it's complete patience, complete instilling confidence and that work ethic in others. And that's what I need to see from LaFleur is, can he do that for the young guys? And right now, I don't see it at all.
I don't either.
So,
I definitely, it's just like, at what point, like, as Digital was mentioning, of like, when does Matt LaFleur take accountability? And like, not even Matt LaFleur, I would say Brian Gutekunst also. I think he's the one who drafted Jordan Love when the Packers were coming off the NFC Championship game. We're right there to the Super Bowl, and he decides to take the quarterback. And you knew from that day that Jordan Love, that decision was going to be based on how Brian Gutekunst does and how Matt LaFleur does. And that was going to be decision-making. Now, so far, it has not been that great. I mean, it's just the first year. But then again, this is the evaluation season, and we're trying to see progress of what can we make for next year, hopefully. And Brian pretty much just like threw Jordan Love under the bus by not getting him a veteran like receiver. I mean, we have a veteran running back, but you need a veteran receiver. And the one thing I always critique about Brian is he never re-signed Devontae Adams, because look what it would be if we had Devontae Adams, if we re-signed for the veteran stuff. He'd be a good veteran leader. He'd still be doing well for us. And that's what I will still critique, is how we did not re-sign Devontae, because he could have been, like, if we lost Aaron Rodgers that year in that offseason and didn't re-sign, we still have a leader on that offense. Devontae, he'd be balling and be helping Jordan Love out the entire time. But
do you guys think Aaron even leaves if Adams stays? What happens if Rodgers goes out and has another MVP year?
It's hard to think about what could have happened if none of that stuff went down. I thought after 2021 when we lost, I didn't think Adams was going anywhere. I thought Rodgers was going to be gone before Adams was, honestly.
Yeah.
But then Adams didn't want to play under the franchise tag, right?
Yeah.
That's what got us that's what made us pretty much have to trade him. Yeah.
So are you saying, Jeremy, that definitely understand your grievances with Gutekunst based off the decisions he's made, right? Definitely get that. I think we can decide. You think he hasn't stood up to those and hasn't spoke to some of those issues? Is that what kind of your grievance is, or is just the decisions themselves?
He hasn't taken accountability for that, and like he's got to make better decisions because it's just annoying me. Like you could have done something better. I mean, we needed a quarterback after the 2019 season eventually for Aaron Rodgers because of his age, but you were right there and you did not take a receiver during that because from 2018 we did not take a receiver for many years, not just one in a late draft pick. It took them forever because they weren't evaluating like he did with offensive line. That is one of my critiques of Brian, is he does not address this stuff. He waits till the last minute to address things. That is one of my critiques about him.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I got to say about that, right? It kind of comes with the role. The head coach role, you're the front guy, right? So you have to be accountable to the guys on the field, the players, media, fans, right?
Yeah.
Front office, general manager is not like that, actually. They're the ones that's supposed to be kind of running the ship, right? So the captain of the ship kind of doesn't go and be the front guy. His job is to kind of foresee where the team's going to go and kind of steer us in that direction. So I don't think he should necessarily be taking accountability for the bad decisions to the fans. But what he should be doing, that's kind of on Mark Murphy, is if Gutekunst keeps making bad decisions, right, then he's got to get out of here. Mark Murphy's job is now to get rid of Gutekunst because, look, Ted Thompson, right, when he picked Aaron Rodgers, if you asked the fans at that time, right, that was the worst decision ever. You have the video, right? Do you have that available?
Hold up. We will play that. Give me 1 second. Aha, here we go.
Rodgers, who the only place he's going to take you to is the toilet bowl. And then you got Brett Favre, who will take you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just saying we're not going to talk about that.
Right. That's a great example of what I'm saying, right? If you listen to that guy and listen to the majority of the thing, we would not be sitting with a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, right? Now, that was what Gutekunst was trying to do with Love. I don't think the situations were the same. I don't think they were the same at all.
No, and I think
we they
tried to compare him too much, and I think fans are trying to compare it too much, and I think we just need to do our own thing and just forget that.
Right. And I think Thompson had a reason to do it back then. Favre kept flip-flopping, you know, retire, not retired, retire, not retired. Aaron Rodgers never actually did that. What he did do is like not play that well for a few seasons, right? Yeah. So I guess it provided some motivation.
Anyways.
Right, for his standards. So it provided some motivation for him to go out there and play, have 2 MVP seasons. But what it also did is kind of created a rift where you saw what happened in the long run. He wanted to leave. And he traded up, like Digital said. Didn't really make much sense at the time. It's also different now with the salaries with rookie contracts, right? Back then, you could get a really cheap, what do you call it? It didn't matter with the contracts. The contracts weren't as cheap for quarterbacks as they are now. So if you got like a guy like Patrick Mahomes on his rookie contract, like the Chiefs did, playing, balling out, you could put all these pieces around him and win a Super Bowl. It didn't matter as much back then because the contracts were huge. Like Andrew Luck, when he got signed, made a ton of money, like day one. So it's a completely different situation, and I think Gutekunst has a lot to speak to on how he's handled his team. But I don't expect him to go out in front of the media and kind of talk to his bad decisions and his good decisions. That's on Murphy's job to kind of evaluate that and get him out of there if he's making bad decision over bad decision. LaFleur, on the other hand, a coach, I think he needs to hit half of his job. One is hiring people. The other part is optics and leading people. And that is what I'm concerned about. But I definitely understand your grievances, Jeremy. We've made a lot of bad personnel decisions, I think. And it's showing. So
I just don't think it's going to change either because Murphy is almost done retirement-wise.
And that might be the problem. That may be the
2025,
problem.
right?
Yes, 2025.
That may be the
Wow.
problem. I think
Oh
some
yeah,
of
I
the
forgot about that.
some of the issues.
Oh, is that when the house is going to be clean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's interesting when Murphy leaves. I like Murphy. I think he's a really good guy. I don't know how great of a business. I think he's a good business guy because they've done a great job at Titletown, and that's not really on Murphy though. It's on this guy named Ed Policy. You guys are familiar with Ed Policy?
Oh yeah.
So Ed Policy is probably going to be Murphy's replacement. So it's going to be interesting to see where the team goes when he's fully in charge. So honestly, I think we have some good stuff on the horizon when Ed is in charge. Right? I believe that's kind of where we're going. Because that Titletown, that whole district, the great thing that happened there, that's Ed Policy's actually moved. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the long-term trajectory of this team is going to be interesting. But I think we have some pain too. That's why I don't know how you guys feel. Like, what's your involvement level of the game week in, week out? You guys super excited for the games on Sundays? Like,
I would say I'm super excited now.
As the weeks are going by, it's just less and less. But
I know.
I've since that whole 2020 thing with Aaron Rodgers and being pissed off about Jordan Love, I've been really invested in this team, the success. So 2020 to now, I've been really invested. But like I said, it's getting harder to watch by the week.
I know. And it's frustrating because we haven't had to deal with this for a while. This was something to look forward to. Some days coming around, get another W, get closer to the playoffs. Now it's almost like, well, we need to get another loss so we get closer to a number one pick. There's no excitement in that.
No.
But what we do have still is we have the community. We have a lot of people here that are Packers fans. That's not going anywhere. So, it still brings people together and it still has fun. I just really hope that we can be celebrating pretty soon and not talking negative like we are right now. No one wants to talk negative.
Nah. That Lombardi needs to come home soon. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like this point now, it's like we're almost there, and like I feel like majority of fans just want the season to end at this point and just like get ready for the offseason, get ready for the draft. Because
we're gonna have a lot of money for 2024. I'm looking forward to the offseason.
I'm wondering. I just don't because
I want to get Keenan Allen.
I think this offseason is the make or break for Goon Cunts.
Yes, I think it definitely is. Like, I don't think like. In my opinion, I hope they get a veteran receiver. Like they could get T. Higgins, for example, but I just don't think it's going to.
Yeah, Higgins, Keenan Allen.
I just don't think it's going to happen. But I would want that. Like if Goody makes like what we've said for many years as Packer fans, like draft the receiver in the first round, get something good, get a veteran guy that we've wanted for so many years. This is the time for Goody to shine, but I don't think he can do it.
And it never ends up happening. So why would we think it would happen now? Exactly.
It just doesn't happen.
No. But
I don't know, maybe we could have an offensive side of the version back when, we signed Preston Smith, Darius Smith. Didn't we get Amos that year too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the past few years we've been drafting all out on defense, and the defense hasn't really improved.
No.
That's mostly because of our coordinator.
That's because of coordination, yeah.
Definitely.
There's talent. It's loaded with talent. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think the defense is totally loaded. I'm still sad Rasul's gone, but
yeah.
Valentine
Eric Stokes hasn't done
He
much.
has been a spark though. In the 2 weeks that he's been a starter, he's looked pretty promising.
Oh, yeah,
I do like Valentine.
Definitely.
Yeah. We said about a veteran receiver. Look, I wouldn't be against it. I don't think I'd be in the market for the top veteran receiver, someone like Keenan Allen. But what I would be in the market for is Marvin Harrison Jr. If we could get a top 3-4 pick, I mean, imagine that. Imagine you get Marvin Harrison Jr. on this team, build him long term. Have a guy like Garrett Wilson. I mean, look at the Jets, right? How do they built their team? Through the draft, and they tried to plug Aaron Rodgers in there to be the guy that got him over the hump. It didn't work out great so far, but they have a really good young core team, right? What I'm afraid of is you went and pay a guy like Keenan Allen. We don't have the team around him. As shows with Christian Watson, a really good receiver isn't going to help the team win if you don't have guys around him. So I just don't want to stunt the growth, bring in a high-tier veteran receiver in a position where veteran guy is not really going to help us. We need young studs at that position. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Look at the two guys that the Vikings have. That's where I want to be. I don't want to bring in another guy that's old, that's going to want top dollar, that is probably going to last 3 or 4 more years and isn't going to be my guy for a long time. So
I agree. Like doing something like what the Titans are doing, I don't see that being the best option right now with DeAndre
The quarterback
Hopkins.
also hasn't been that great.
Right.
But
Hopkins has also not really been the best this year either, other than that 4 touchdown game he had with Will Levis debut. He hasn't really been spectacular other than that game.
well, you can use Devontae Adams as an example. I mean, Devontae hasn't been
True
doing
that. Oh
his
my
usual
goodness.
numbers because of quarterback.
As a Devontae Adams fantasy owner, I felt that.
right. I mean, receiver can only do something to give him the ball. And if you can't get him the ball, then you're not going to help. So offensive line's important.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend money on an offensive lineman, a veteran offensive lineman, because it brings somebody in. You need 5 guys, your best 5, right? Somebody develop Zach Tom, maybe Myers if he has any long-term future with this team. Sean Ryan, who's done decent recently, and maybe has some promise. I don't want to get ahead of myself there. But, I would draft another offensive lineman this year, but maybe bring in a veteran guy to help. Bakhtiari, again, we talked about this last week, Jeremy. Where the hell's Bakhtiari? I don't see him.
It'd be nice if he was playing.
But forget about playing. Where is he full-time on the team? Is he on the sideline? Is he in practice? Helping these guys get.
I think he's at home.
I think he's at home too. I think that's where he is. And he's making all this money to be home when he could be out there. I know he's not playing right now, but be there. Look at Rodgers. He's on McAfee saying, in 2 weeks' time or right after Thanksgiving,
I'm going to be there full time. Yeah.
Right. Not going to be playing there, but he's going to be on the team full time. There's an aspect of leadership and kind of motivation that somebody like Bakhtiari or Rodgers would bring to the locker room. And I don't see Bakhtiari. I don't see him anywhere. But maybe I'm missing him. Maybe he's there and I just don't see him. But I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I don't think Bakhtiari is a good locker room piece at all.
I think we should change the Jets with Aaron.
Remember what he was saying I don't know if you guys remember what he was saying in the offseason, but openly saying that it's a rebuild and stuff, and kind of contradicting what the other players were saying, how don't sleep on us, we're still gonna be here. I think that was kind of weird.
I agree.
As well.
I agree. And then here's another thing that's kind of interesting. I could be way overthinking this, but this is just something that's kind of interesting. Remember he got Rodgers' what do you call it? The go-kart that they had, the golf cart? Right? It would be him and Rodgers going back and forth in practice all the time, right? But it kind of separates those two leaders on the team from the rest of the team, because every time when everybody else is going to practice, they're going go-karting over there, right? And they're not with the team. It's a small thing, but I think it kind of just shows at that time Bakhtiari was really only here for one guy, and that's Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he was here to develop the young guys. And now that he lost his best friend, I think he'll be on the next ship out of Green Bay if he has a chance.
I agree.
So it's unfortunate because, if that's the guy, the only guy, he's only here because of his friend Aaron Rodgers. Once he leaves, I don't see any way Bakhtiari is on his team anymore after this year. But maybe I'm wrong.
I just don't think about it. I just don't. I don't.
And it's unfortunate because that ended up being a huge mistake for the Packers. No one would have known that at the time that he would get hurt like this, but they gave him all that money, made him the most highest paid offensive lineman.
I remember the whole deal with the contract. It was after the Jaguars game, 2020, in random hotel room. And he signed that massive contract extension.
I know. So. Looking back, Devontae should have been the guy that got the money.
Yeah. And seeing Devontae kind of unhappy in Vegas with the whole – I know the past couple weeks he's been happy that they've cleaned house and whatnot, but, seeing Devontae, how he feels in Vegas, not getting the targets he desires and stuff like that, it kind of sucks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that ship sailed. I don't think Devontae's ever coming back to Green Bay. But I'm actually not surprised that the Jets tried to get him. I'm not surprised about that at all.
No, me neither.
Nope.
But yeah.
All right, we'll move on to our next topic here, which the Packers take on the Los Angeles Chargers here at Lambeau this week. It is Retro Week, ladies and gentlemen. The Packers are wearing their 50s uniforms, ladies and gentlemen. The best uniforms, I would argue, in the Packers franchise, so I really like them. Where do you guys take here of this of like us facing the Chargers? Keenan Allen is probable now to play this week after questionable coming in. They reported today he's most likely going to play this week.
So I saw Aaron Jones was put on the questionable list, so that's just rolled my eyes when I saw that. But I am looking forward to this game this week. Chargers coming off a brutal loss to the Lions. I think they're going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, but the Packers as well. We need a home win. We need another home win. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to, coaching in the end. Brandon Staley versus Matt LaFleur. Interesting. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we can definitely win this game. Got to establish the run game early. I think establishing the run game early will be key. Getting Aaron Jones going if he does end up playing. Getting Dylan going up the middle. Yeah, I think he's going to end up going. But, yeah, I think establishing the run game early will be key.
All right. Lambeau, your thoughts?
Pretty much the same. Getting Aaron Jones going early, get some A.J. Dillon runs, get some targets. It's just about starting off early and not having a bad first half like we usually do, but did good against Pittsburgh. We should have won that game.
It was so weird seeing us score an opening drive touchdown.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, that was pretty nice to see.
Haven't seen that in months, feels like.
Yeah. Definitely.
Didn't we do that against the Bears week 1?
Did they score an opening drive touchdown against Bears? That was the last time?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's been
because if it wasn't that better, it'd be Aaron Rodgers times.
Yeah. Definitely. Mike, your thoughts?
In this game? Jeremy, we talked about this, that this was a game I wanted to go to. I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. I do like the Chargers, but I don't know. I think it should be a good game. I think the Packers probably lose, but if you had to ask me, but I don't know. It's not as exciting as I expected it to be in the preseason. I wanted to be happy about this game. I was thinking about going to this game, and it's just, I don't know. This whole season just has a bad taste in my mouth, Jeremy. So I don't know. I want to see some progress. I want to see kind of the offense pick up where they left last week, get better, improve. The defense needs to play much better than they did last week. They basically just let the Steelers go up and down the field in the beginning of the game. Then they kind of settled in a little bit, but still not good enough. So I just want to see a complete game. I want to see I'd rather the Packers lose, honestly, because, again, I want to get that draft pick, but I want to see some progress. And right now I'm not seeing any progress, but I don't know. I'm at that point, Jeremy, where I just disappointed in this team, and I want to give some light. I want something to make me feel, okay, we're getting somewhere. I could see some light at the end of the tunnel, and I just haven't seen it yet. So that's really all I'm looking for, the baseline.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's just like, as Mike mentioned, this was a game that you kind of wanted to watch and everything like this. I do think the Packers have a chance, as Lambeau and Digital were mentioning earlier, that Chargers defense has not been great the past couple of weeks. It's struggled a lot, especially in the pass defense. The run defense is not that good either, so that gives the Packers advantage. I just want to see progress, as Mike mentioned. I've been annoyed with this team so far this year. I just want to see progress, pick up the offense once again, get it going. Joe Barry, please just stop the runner, stop playing Kevin King 10 yards off. I don't want to see that anymore, because that cost the Packers a lot last week, a lot. And you just can't have that. You can't have that happen. And at this point in the season, rather have the Packers lose, but I always support my team no matter what. So I always got to root for them to win. But the loss would help the Packers. The loss would help them out. Even if we get that top 3 pick, who knows if the Packers would even get Marcin Harrison Jr., because knowing Goody, they don't do receiver in the first round. They don't do it. But with that talent,
an O-lineman.
Exactly. Probably drops an O-lineman, and I would want the Packers to get the receiver, but knowing Goody, he doesn't do it.
No, that's an indictment. I'm sorry. If you have a chance at Marvin Harrison Jr. and you say no, not with our receiving core, that I don't like that.
Seriously.
No, you could see what Justin Jefferson has done, what Garrett Wilson has done, what maybe Addison's going to do. But like, if you could get a stalwart at that position at that age, you get him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I want that so badly because at this point now, it sickens me in my stomach that I kind of want the Bears to win. Like, it's sicking me right now. Yeah, I just hate it. Like, at this point, I'd rather let the Giants
Who do
lose.
the Bears play? The Giants?
I think no, that's the Commanders this week. They play the Lions this week, so they're going to lose that game.
Yeah. No, there's no shot the Lions lose to the Bears.
No shot, so... At this point, I'm just rooting.
And then after this week, we got Thanksgiving, and I bet that'll be a great game.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just brutal because the games that they got left is the Lions twice. They got the Vikings once. They got the Browns. They got the Cardinals. They got us. They got the Falcons. So.
Oh, they got a crazy schedule coming up.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty tough.
Yep. So, hope-wise.
Agent going at quarterback.
Which is great for us, right? What I want to see is a shootout, against like the Chiefs. I don't expect to beat the Chiefs, but I actually don't want to win. So what I want to do, I want to see them a run for money, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring the Chiefs to the end of the game and then let them win or something like, let's see some progress. Let's see some of taking the best teams in the league to the end. That's what I want to see from this team and not just completely falling apart. And I think this is going to be a great stretch for the team. So, honestly, I'm kind of looking forward now. I'm convincing myself to be excited again because we're playing some teams that are good enough where we should get destroyed. Let's try not to get destroyed, but still lose. Does that work? Or is that being a bad fan for hoping that they lose?
It's kind of being a bit of both, I would say. A bit of both. I mean, yes, you want your team to have the high draft pick, but then again, you're rooting against your team, so it's like 50-50.
I'm not though, because I'm rooting against them in the moment. But the thing is mediocrity in the moment actually hurts us in the long run. Look at the Jets, right? If the Jets would have lost that game to the Rams, I think it was, when they won, they would have got
Trevor Lawrence
instead of Zach Wilson. That could be the piece that they needed. Imagine Trevor Lawrence on that team, the Jets team. They'd probably be perpetually good.
Probably. They'd probably be good.
So sometimes losing in the moment wins in the end.
Not all the time. Not all the time, Mike. It does not work for every sports fan. No, it does not. Especially if you're a Sixers fan. No, it does not work.
If the Packers win this game, how does that help us in the season? How does it help us longer term?
We're 4-6. Woohoo!
You know what I mean? Once you're out of look, we're here to win the Super Bowl. You guys haven't seen the Packers win the Super Bowl as a diehard fan.
I'm dry.
We have seen it, but I haven't seen it since when was it? 2010. I was 15 years old then.
I was 8.
So it's been a long time. And like you said, Digital, it was a tough stretch. Actually, it wasn't a tough stretch. We've been one of the best teams in the league for a long time. What made it tough was that we didn't win the Super Bowl.
What made it tough are the heartbreaks at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't play here to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, to the playoffs and then kind of fizzle out. We care about this
here for Super Bowls.
For the Super Bowl, right? Even if you don't win the Super Bowl, you at least got to make the Super Bowl, so then you can have that whole lead up of the week. We could be talking we're in the Super Bowl, and then worst case, worst case you'll lose, and then damn, well, at least we made it though, right? Yeah. We got so close, and then damn it, we got to the 1 yard line, and we couldn't just get into the end zone.
Marshawn Lynch.
Right, exactly. Obviously you want to win the Super Bowl. You make it, you want to win. But half the down, like the sadness I have from that whole period is that we got so close to the Super Bowl so many times, and we never made it. I would have been happy if we made it and lost than never making it all. So
yeah, Brady versus Rodgers in 2014 would have been just amazing.
Yep.
Right. We were robbed of those games, robbed of those lead up.
Brandon Bostic.
Now we talked about that play on this show before. Bostic should not have done that. If he doesn't do that, the Packers in the Super Bowl. But the Packers also lost for a lot more reasons than just Brandon Bostic. Mike McCarthy completely went into snail mode in terms of don't put a dome over this team. Don't take any risk whatsoever, and they just slowly died. Slowly died. Yeah.
So many times inside the 10-yard line where we just got stopped and had to kick field goals. Yeah.
They were in a spot where all they needed to do was do one thing right. If they did one thing right, they win that game easily. They were that far ahead.
I mean, you could say Morgan Burnett sliding after that interception was the game-losing decision.
Right. I mean, sometimes when you're at the goal line, let's take some risks. We're here. We're right here. Let's put them away. Instead of saying, well, what happens if we fumble at the goal line? They receive it and run it all the way back. But then they still need to do 10 other things right. We just need to do one thing right, and they're dead. They can never come back. Let's not worry about messing up once, and then they still have to do 10 other things. Then just let's put them away. Put that final nail in the coffin, and let's start celebrating. Mm-hmm. Instead, they were worried about messing up one time. So I agree. Brandon Bostic doesn't do that. What do you call it? We win the Super Bowl, but he shouldn't even have been in that position. That play shouldn't even have happened. No. And that was a killer for Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's having a resurgence of his career in Dallas, but he got to a point where he was so conservative whenever they got into a lead, and I don't know. It's just not – it didn't sit well with me either. So that was my problem with McCarthy.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely was. Well, as of right now, the Packers have the 6th overall pick, ladies and gentlemen. They have the 6th overall pick, where Chicago has 2 top 5 picks, the 1st overall and the 5th overall. So hoping that the Giants get the 1st one at this point. So because I feel like if the Bears get the number 1 spot, they're going to be trading that pick away, in my opinion.
That's the other thing. We always, whenever we get a top 10 pick or like we're bad, we always get like a mediocre pick where it's bottom of the top 10, right? Or like 13, 12 or 13, right?
Exactly.
I want to get a great pick, like 2, 3, 4, like might as well, right? When was the last time we had like a top pick? Tony Mandarich and number 2, right? That was the last time we had like a prime pick. This year could be a prime pick. Let's just go for it. Let's get that prime pick. Let's get Marvin Harrison Jr. in the door, and let's start building around him. That would be my ideal situation. Right now.
That draft played a lot of factors, and that affected the Packers so much. They might have not even won a Super Bowl, Mike. That's the fact. Because Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, you had the Chiefs guy, forget whatever the linebacker name was. But still, like 4 guys, and you pick a bust out of all of them.
Yeah.
Insane.
That pick.
The draft has to be the way we build this team, guys. Yes. And you said it exactly right, Digital, before. Green Bay is not a vacation destination. It might be for us because we're Packers fans, but not for these young guys, 20 years old that, are used to cities, used to this down south. They don't want to go up to Green Bay. The only way you can get people to go to Green Bay is if you force them out of college, drafting them, right, against their will, then develop them and then give them a contract because this is where they're going to make the most money staying at the same team, right? Or getting some guy kind of later on in his career where like he doesn't have many options. All right, go to Green Bay. Okay, great. Look at Charles Woodson. We got him, but he didn't want to come to Green Bay. That was like the last case scenario. The only guy that we got that was like a big free agent that wanted to go to Green Bay was Reggie White. Somehow, for some reason, God spoke to him and said, Reggie, go to Green Bay. And he turned our team around. That and Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers, for some reason, wanted to come to Green Bay.
Oh,
too.
Yeah. That was nice.
I love that. That was one of my favorites.
Other than that,
Chicago, that was awesome.
What other big name free agent really have we got? Is it Darius Smith, I guess? But
I guess the Smith brothers in 2019.
Right.
But like,
right.
Ahman Green.
That was more money in it.
Free agency, not the way the Packers build their team, but the draft is. So let's get a top pick. Let's make sure we hit on it. If we get a top 5 pick and we don't hit on it, hell's to pay. You can't have another Tony Mandarich. That would be terrible.
Hey, there's also a Charles Woodson there, Mike.
Huh?
There's also Charles Woodson.
That's what I said Charles Woodson, but he didn't want to come.
No,
he didn't want to come to Green Bay. He was his last option. He told his agent anywhere but Green Bay.
Exactly.
So, it ended up working out for him in the long run, but in the beginning, he did not want to go there.
No.
I mean, think of would you want to go to Green Bay if you weren't a Packers fan?
It depends on how much money I'm getting offered, Mike.
I know, but if everything else was equal, forget about the money.
Knowing how it is in the winter as a player, not as a Packers player, like not connected with the Packers at all. Yeah.
No.
But there's a big reason why there's a lot of Packers transplants. Just no one really wants to live in Green Bay. You go ask your family, hey, mom and dad, you want to go move to Green Bay? They'll probably laugh at you, right? Green Bay. I actually was there a lot. Like I enjoy it, but it does take a lot to live there. I mean, it's kind of tucked away. It's actually a nice spot, but it's kind of more of a vacation place than it is because of the Packers, and it is a place to live day in, day out. So I could see for a player why they wouldn't want to go to Green Bay. And that was the thing, is people want to come to Green Bay when Rodgers was there to play with Aaron Rodgers. We don't have that now. So it's almost like we very well could become the Siberia of the NFL again if we start to have year in, year out of terrible performance where people just want to get out and they don't want to go there.
Oh, no, I feel like that's the Patriots right now at this point. I feel like that's the Patriots for a couple of years.
What? Well, that's just because they don't have a good team right now.
Well, they have an old aging coach who really is not the great coach anymore. He's declining a bit.
Yeah, I've been seeing Belichick the Chargers possibly next. I've been seeing that pretty popular lately.
I definitely feel like I feel like this might be his last year with the Patriots, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's rumblings that my old founder of my company, Josh Harris, wants to bring him to Washington Commanders, but
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know. It's very true. So, Bob Kraft, right, is on the board or was on the board of Apollo, which is my company, right? And Josh Harris knows Bob Kraft quite a bit. So it's possible if they want to get rid of Belichick, I could see a trade happening.
I can see a trade happening. I just can't imagine Belichick in a Commander's uniform. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. It just feels so weird.
I don't know, guys. You might want to start imagining it because it's very well possible. The connection is there between those two guys.
Honestly, I can see the Commanders wanting to do something like that.
Right.
For
to
sure,
put them on the map again. Put them on the. They already did it once. Who'd they do it with?
With Ron Rivera. They tried to get the Rivera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else did they do it with? You're not thinking about the thing I'm thinking about.
Shanahan.
Nope.
LaFleur?
No.
But there was the father, Mike Shanahan. History-wise, weren't they trying to get Lombardi?
Yep, there you go. Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi came from Green Bay to, now obviously not the Commanders, but the Washington Redskins at the time. And he was their GM and coach. I think he played for he coached there for a season or something, or maybe he got sick and he never actually coached, but I forget the story. But he definitely went to the Commanders. So they have history of trying to poach really Hall of Fame legacy coaches and bring them at the end of the career. So I could see it happening. And like I said, there is that personal connection between Josh Harris and Bob Kraft that it could happen. I think it's probably, if I could bet on it, I'd probably bet on it right now. But I could be wrong. I totally could be wrong. But the Commanders need something. They need something to change the.
They definitely need a culture swing.
Yeah, exactly. From, I can't even think of it. Who's the old owner's name again? Of the
Snyder.
Yeah, Dan Snyder, right? Of all that. Now Josh Harris is there. Josh Harris is looking for something. This is my imprint on the team. I'm telling you, I know Josh Harris. He walked right by me at work one day. I know how he is. He owns the 76ers, Jeremy's team. He wants to make an imprint on this team and say, this is the way we do things now. We're going to turn this team around. And I could see bringing in Belichick as his move. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would not want Belichick on the Packers. I don't think.
No, I don't see that working out.
No.
Because that's not what the Packers are all about. You're about offense. Because it's like the Bears, for example. They have tried to build an offense. They try to go offensively when they're historically known for defense. That's what they're historically known. Look at how the offense is working. You have a terrible head coach right now, terrible offensive coordinator. Your offense is trash. It has not worked out at all. You have some good pieces like there, but not a lot. You don't have much. And they try to focus heavily on the offense when they don't know how to draft and how to develop offensive players in that system.
Yep.
That's been the case.
With the talks of Jim Harbaugh possibly making another jump to the NFL, how would you guys feel with the Packers possibly being a candidate to land them if they end
What's going on with him? Well, why is he suspended? Does anyone know that?
It's
sign stealing investigation. That's what's going on.
So pretty
and
much,
then they suspended him for 4 games, right?
Yes, 4 games, and because he's not coaching the Ohio State game because he's trying to appeal the whole thing, and the whole appeal thing did not want to work out, so he's still suspended the 4 games because they're still trying to figure that out. He is still allowed to go if they make the playoffs, which most likely they will. He's allowed to coach them then, but it's pretty much Belichick's Spygate all over again. And I would not want Harbaugh because he reminds me a lot of Matt LaFleur. Of what we're seeing right now, that is the Harbaugh I remember. The guy who complains every time he's a baby, buys his pants at Walmart. Ladies and gentlemen, buys his khaki pants at Walmart.
I don't know. Jim Harbaugh to me is probably going to cost too much money. I don't see how.
Yeah, that sounds like an expensive interaction.
And those never really work out. The other thing,
the big name, no.
It hasn't worked. I mean, look at Sean Payton. Look at
Urban Meyer.
John Gruden. It doesn't seem to work out that way. And the other thing with coaches, don't forget, I know their salary doesn't go against the salary cap, but their contracts are fully guaranteed. So I think the best gig in America, guys, is to get an NFL coaching job, right? Completely bomb it. Completely do a terrible job, right?
Go
get fired. Cliff Kingsbury, that guy hasn't made, right? He went off with his beautiful girlfriend to
New Zealand.
Not New Zealand. I think Thailand.
I remember
and he's living the life while people are paying him. Right? He opens up his bank account and they're paying him like he was working with a bunch of guys in Arizona, day in, day out. And he's in Thailand having the time of his life. Why would you want to be a coach once you kind of just actually purposely suck? I mean, I'm sure he'll never get an opportunity again, Cliff Kings. That's the thing is, once you ruin your name, that's it. You're gone.
He is coaching somewhere, not in the NFL. Yeah, I think
he came back from his sabbatical.
He's in. Hold up, if I find it. He's somewhere. Oh, he's in USC.
He's the offensive coordinator for USC. That's right.
Yeah.
So he joined.
Caleb Williams.
So he went back. Wasn't he the coach at USC?
No, he was not. No, it was Lincoln Riley. He was the one who went from Oklahoma to
Texas
USC.
Tech. Sorry, Texas Tech is where he was.
Because he was with Patrick Mahomes during that time.
I just think Kingsbury is just a college coach.
I think so
that's
too.
Just what it is. Just a successful college coach.
I honestly think that it's just been the case.
He's good at developing quarterbacks too.
Yes.
He's still getting those paychecks, so
yeah,
Can't go wrong with that.
Hey, we could be like the Bears. You have to pay 3 head coaches at this point, guys. You got to pay.
I know.
You got to pay Gruden. You got to pay McDaniels and the new one now. It's crazy.
They're not paying Vizcacha anymore.
Versace?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't end up making him their head coach after that. After he finished up as the intern and got into the playoffs, I was shocked that they didn't give him a contract to be their head coach. But he hasn't really. The special teams were an issue, and the Packers hired him, and everyone was like happy and thought it would, shift the special teams. But we haven't really seen that. I made a post earlier in the week. They're ranked 26th in the league for special teams. So, yeah.
Definitely is. It's just what it is of the coaching, and now we just gotta hope for the Packers to do well. And my guess, because I just don't even if the Packers get a high draft pick, which I don't think we're gonna get, like what Mike was saying, a second or third, even though we want to, I just don't see it happening because I can see someone trade right up in front of our eyes and get the guy, and I think Chicago would do it. They would trade out one of their picks to do something at this point. I could see it happening. Because there's if we're looking at the board right now, for example, Chicago needs a receiver. Giants, they have needed a receiver for a long time. Patriots, they need a receiver. Cardinals, they need a receiver. A lot of teams in the top 5 here, including the Packers at 6, need receivers.
Yep.
So
sure.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen of us getting Marvin Harrison. I just think at this point we're probably going to get an offensive lineman because that's the most likely scenario for the Packers.
If Harrison's there, though, they got to pull the trigger.
Yes, if he is there, because the way I see it play out is, I don't know if he would go. I just don't know. I think he would refuse to go to the Giants. Honestly, I just don't see it. I don't know if it would happen, like another case of like the Eli Manning situation. I
Definitely
don't.
can't see him. Is
I
he
just-
kind of like? Is he doing the same thing Williams is? Like kind of like, if this certain team picks me, I'm holding out.
I think
that
he
type of
is.
deal.
I think he is. It's like
What
if it's
is up with that?
I think I mean it's all started with the Eli Manning situation as a fan because they did not want to go to Chargers and then they had to make the whole ridiculous trade and then fast forward the trade happened and got into 2 Super Bowls. But for
knocking
Cousins,
out Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers along the path.
exactly. Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. And Mike has
Terrible.
witnessed that since he's with Giant fans.
Yep. Big reason I became a huge Packers fan. One, my dad, but two, because the Packers kept losing to the Giants in the NFC Championship game, and I had to deal with everybody giving me a hard time.
So that's why 2016 was satisfying.
No, yeah, totally. I was not in New York for that game though. I was actually in Cleveland. But yeah, that was a good win. I was actually thinking about going to that game, but I didn't. I've been to Lambeau 4 times now. Twice this year and 2 times before that. That was supposed to be my first time ever in Lambeau. Was that game against the Giants in the divisional round? Sorry, not the divisional round, the wild card round. Yeah, it didn't happen. I mean, I didn't actually make it. I had everything booked, and I decided last minute not to go. I was going to drive from like Cleveland, and it didn't work. So, but I definitely would recommend it if you have a chance to go to Lambeau Digital. It's definitely
for
a fun,
sure, dude. Definitely on the bucket list. Definitely on the bucket list.
Mecca trip. Our friend here, Jeremy, has season tickets, so he goes once a
You
year.
have season tickets?
Wait, hold up. I can put it up. Yeah, behind. That's my banner season ticket holder,
Wow.
and also stockholder too. So I got the stuff here.
Same
I
here.
I see you.
I'm a stockholder, but that doesn't count for much. So
It
that's
does-
cool as Jeremy.
Hey, it allows me to say that I'm this owner as Robert Kraft, as all the other owners in the NFL. I'm the same position, even though I make no money, so I can have the same title position as you do.
Good luck getting in some of those conversations with him, Jeremy. Call Robert Kraft and see what he see if he'd like to talk to him as a fellow owner of the NFL. No, I just joke.
At this point, I think we should be allowed. I think we should be allowed as the stockholders be allowed to like participate in the NFL meeting. I feel like we should be
owners.
I feel like we should be
like
allowed.
have an exclusive stockholders meeting and like that kind of have an influence on the team.
Well, you can go. You can go to the stockholders meeting.
Oh,
we
no
get
kidding.
invited every year, but you have to go to Lambeau for it. I mean, it's also streamed online, so you can watch it online. But if you want to go to Lambeau, it's free. You just have to get there. And it's during the work day or school day. So that's the downside. But yeah, it's not really worth it going there for that.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But if you live there, it makes sense. Take the day off of work, have
it's a cool
free reason to go to Lambeau Field. Tailgate a little bit with some friends. If it's close by, why not?
Yeah, definitely.
So that is a perk of being a shareholder. So what I would recommend, if you're not a season ticket holder, which I'm not either, but put yourself on the waiting list. That's how there's 2 reasons. I put myself I should have done it years before, but I was like you, Jeremy. Oh, what's the point? But no, actually, there's 2 real important reasons, and I'll tell you why. I've said it on the podcast before, but if anyone's listening, and for Digital Shake, I'll tell you. So it's easy. You sign up like a 1-page form. You put it in, right? And it's going to take 80, 90 years for you to ever get it anyway, so it's not going to happen. But what happens immediately is, one, they send you a nice postcard every year, what your number is. So it's like a nice collectible for free. It's a free postcard. Why not?
I still get that.
Right. There's no downside to getting a free postcard, and you're a Packers fan, so it's a nice kind of method to hold on to. Something to track, right? My number last year was 120. Now it's 119. So it's something to think about. But here's the biggest reason, and it's actually why everyone should be doing it. So what they do have is they have season ticket holder pre-sales. So for some way, you can get tickets to every game at face value when they do this pre-sale once in the off season, and that's where I got my tickets to go to the Saints game. That's where got my tickets to go to the Seahawks game 2 years ago. And you get them at face value, so you don't have to pay StubHub fees. You don't have to pay like the upcharge that the fans try to resell them at. You just buy them at the Ticketmaster price. So kind of what Jeremy would pay at season ticket. And you also have it's actually better because Jeremy has to buy all the games, right? he can't say, "Oh, I'm only going to be there for game 1 and game 3, so just give me those games." He has to buy them all. Then he has to sell them, right? But what you can do is, what I did was like, I only want to go to the Saints game, so I just opened up the pre-sale for the Saints game, found the tickets I wanted, purchase, done. So I'm only out face value for that one game. So it's actually really good. So I'd recommend. Nice. I should probably keep this to myself because I'm gonna have people stealing my tickets. But luckily we don't have that. If we get too popular, Jeremy, we can't tell people that story. They'll have to go back to the archives and watch it. For our guests, we can share that. So I'd recommend sign up for the waiting list. It's free.
Yeah, there's no reason not to do that for sure. Yeah.
There's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I went on the Packers tour a couple years ago, which was the first one I did. Like, I remember they did it, like, they had this one guy in my group. He was still on the list, and he was, like, a 70-year-old man, and he's waiting for, like, 60 years just to get, like, tickets into that. So it takes a while, but, hey, I got a couple. I got one of the 50-yard line and some of the other spots, and I got, like, my name and my brother's, like, up for 2 more. So
that's really cool.
So I got to wait, like, maybe 20 years for extra ones. So, hey.
Then you could transfer it to your kids, too, right? So, like,
yeah.
They'll get it from yours, right? So worst case, like I actually have a spreadsheet where I've calculated what my change and thing and how long it takes. So right now I think I'm projected to be like 91 before I get the tickets. So it's really not for me unless there's right. If I'm 91, I can still go to the Packers game. Actually, I'm pretty happy with my life, right? That's a pretty good accomplishment. But my kids, I mean, maybe they'll be 40 at that point. 91. They got to be older than that. They'll probably be like 60 at that point, right? So, they can deal with it. Grandkids can have it. So, there's no reason not to. If it costs you money to do it, okay, maybe don't do it. But it's literally just giving them your information. They send you a free postcard, and you can get the tickets now. So I recommend it to whoever's listening. Definitely sign up for the waiting list.
Cool.
Yeah. You also get benefits too. Every year you get a coin that has a schedule on it imprinted on there. You also get a schedule.
Sweet.
So you get, yes, if I find...
No, this is if you're a season ticket holder.
Oh, I'm saying that's if I'm a season ticket holder.
Yeah, I'm saying to be on the wait list. I mean, you have to wait till 91 years for that.
Well, I'm saying the perks of being a season ticket.
Do you have that coin on you?
For perks for a lot of money of paying it. Yeah.
Shut it.
Pretty expensive coin.
Shut up, Mike. I would have it. I will. Well, I don't have it on me right now. I'll show it to you later, digital. But pretty much you get a calendar is one. I got that banner was one. My dad back in 2007, right before I think the Giants NFC Championship game, the start of the year, they were doing autographs, and he got Ryan Grant's autograph.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So
and then you got a Miller Lite poster right there. Is that 100 seasons?
Yeah, that's the 100 seasons. I got that too of the Devontae. Well, not Devontae Adams, but it looks like Devontae. But yeah, that's part of also the season ticket too.
It kind of sucks that the 100th season wasn't really one to remember, but
yeah,
it's still some cool memorabilia you got there.
Yeah, because like there's that, and then I won. What was it? Like I won a Jamal Williams like raffle autograph like a couple years ago, just like a helmet mini signed online. So I probably should have sold that last year after he destroyed.
Yeah, after he broke the record.
I should have probably sold that, but then again, it's still worth valuable, so it probably keeps me a couple of dollars here and there.
Yeah.
So I'll keep that, but yeah, that's all that.
All right, so so it's gonna be a good game. I think this week you're gonna see kind of where we're at. It's gonna be a good what do you call it? Just figure out point. What can we bounce back from?
Yeah, let's see if we can
another loss.
Consistency with Love. Let's see if Love can stay, confident in his throws.
Mm-hmm.
See what we can do there.
Exactly, and hopefully we see Packer fans there not get obliterated by Charger fans, like with the Lions game. Except there's barely any Chargers.
I doubt it.
Yeah, Chargers fans can't even get their own stadium filled.
Exactly. Hopefully.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be a big game, and I'm excited to see Justin Herbert play. I honestly haven't seen. Have we played against Justin Herbert in the past? Was that when we lost?
I think this is the first matchup with Herbert
because he was drafted in the 2020 season, and he did not. And we haven't not played Herbert. I believe. No, wait. Actually, no. We did play Herbert.
Did we lose to them when
we
did?
Yes, we did. It was the 2021 season. It was the year when we had to go to LA, I believe.
Yeah, right. Isn't that the thing where we kept losing in California?
Yes.
I'm thinking of 2019 when we went to LA and absolutely took over the Chargers, like when they were playing at a soccer stadium at the time, and they just played like trash and lost.
Maybe it was
2019. Rivers was still the quarterback for them.
Maybe it was that one then. Hold on. Let me check.
But like some of the photos from the stadium, Packers fans just completely took over.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think this is actually his first time. So so I was wrong. Oh,
yeah, this is our first matchup with Herbert.
Yeah. I didn't see anything. So yeah, this is his
so
first
it'll
matchup.
be a new look for the defense. That'll be interesting. I'm not looking forward to seeing that.
Philip Rivers, yeah. All right, so we've never played, and I like Herbert a lot. So I'm excited for this game in that aspect. That's why I wanted to go to this game, because I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert. When everyone was hating on Herbert, I said, actually, I like Herbert. That draft, I would have, if Herbert fell somehow to the Packers, that would have been the guy to get. Yeah,
I was rooting for Herbert. That was the one guy I love. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league.
I agree. So I'm excited to watch this game for that reason only. But obviously I want to see some progression from the Packers. But hopefully my guy Justin comes up with the W this week. I don't know. Look, I want to see the Packers win, but I won't be shedding a tear if we lose. Let's just put it like that. So
definitely. All right. Well, it's a good time to wrap up here, folks, as we'd like to thank Digital and Lambeau for a little bit since he left just randomly.
Without any.
Yeah, he was on what do you call it? He was on the run.
He was on the road and like that.
I think he might have robbed the bank. He was But no, thanks for joining. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a great time tonight.
We try, and I'll definitely give you a follow on Instagram. You have a Twitter?
Yeah, you guys can find me Packers Digital at Packers Digital, Instagram, Twitter. More active on Instagram, but occasionally I'll pop out a tweet here and there. So okay. Appreciate you guys having me on the show tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we'll definitely give you a follow. Anyone's watching, we're gonna sign off. Usually when we sign off, we tell everybody where to find us. So we'll circle back to that. But yeah, no, I definitely and love having people on. That's kind of what we'd like to differentiate ourselves on and have guests.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of other shows,
guests,
they don't really do guests when it comes to like just regular fans, and I think it's unfortunate because people have a lot of different stories and unique stories to tell about how they became a Packers fan and how it affects their life. And I think it's great to have kind of an outlet and a way to talk to other people about it.
Yeah,
so that's really kind of the avenue we're taking. So definitely thanks for taking the time.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah.
No problem. Mike, we'll now.
All right. So you want to do where to find everybody before we sign off?
Yeah,
all right. I know you kind of already did Digital, but let's start with you as you're the guest. Hone it in on everybody.
No worries. All right, Packers Digital. You guys can find me at Twitter at Packers Digital, Instagram at Packers Digital, posting regularly.
Cool. For me, PackReacts podcast at PackReacts Pod. Definitely give us a follow. We're trying to get some more followers. Obviously here on YouTube with Jeremy for the podcast. Usually we're on Twitter. Sorry for not being able to be on Twitter today. Digital, if you ever come back on, we'll definitely make sure to get you on the Twitter side. And then what do you call it? Usually I have my Titletown memes page, which I'm not great with. I took down some notes actually from what you got. I might steal some of your apps that you said, the Leonardo one and the Fonto one. So if you see some better, higher quality content from the meme page, because of these guys telling me what I use Bazar. That's my app, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. But I'm going to check out these apps post the show and see if maybe I'll get some higher quality content from those. These apps. So
sweet. Good luck.
So that's kind of where I'm at. What about you, Jeremy?
All right. Well, you know where to find me. I'm always on the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 300 subs, hopefully, but we're at 262 right now. So if you make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, would do a huge monster favor for me. Huge monster favor. Videos, we're taking a break right now due to schoolwork. Almost done with the semester. About like 5 more assignments, and I'm out of the semester wise. So yeah, there's that. And my last video was out last week when me and Mike were talking about Tom Grossi. So we were giving appreciation out to Tom Grossi for being nominated for the NFL Fan of the Year from the Green Bay Packers. Best decision by the Packers social media page was what me and Mike said last week. So go check that out if you've not already have it. We've both talked about our unique stories of what Tom has meant to us as a Packer fan and as a person.
Great. And then, again, we want to thank Digital and Lambeau for joining. Definitely have an invite back at any, at your leisure. We try to get as many people on as possible, but we'd love to have you back on. Definitely appreciate your time tonight. So,
guys, thank you for having me. Love to be back on the show in the future here. Let's hope the Packers can finish the season with some sparks of hope. Looking forward to the future.
Yes.
Totally agree.
All right, let's wrap it up here with one thing we always like to say here, ladies and gentlemen. We ready, Mike, to say it?
We're ready.
All right, let's play the song here.
Go.
Go. Go. Go.